Hey guys, it is me, cool_cats08, and today I am going to be playing Five Nights at Freddy's while talking about Pride Month. I know it's I think this might be an original experience chat. Um, just because I looked chopped today, I'm dressed up as a clown. Throw up the picture. That is going to be probably the only thing I'm gonna edit in this video because I want it to be pretty. I want it to be like a conversation, you know. I want it to be something where I'm not shock value, whatever. Well, I can't say that while I'm playing Five Nights at Freddy's, but I'm only doing that for people who have a low attention, bad attention span. But oh, we're already on night 5. Okay, new game. Yes. Anyhow, but yeah, I want you to talk about Pride Month because it is Pride Month. Probably by the time this is posted, it might be the 28th or 29th of. Is it June? Why do they look like. Oh, wait. I forgot I had cheats on. How do I get out of this? So let's get into actually talking about it. It's Pride Month. I don't actually remember if I said anything about it in my kind of introducing myself video. But I'm bisexual / pansexual. I only say I'm bisexual, low-key, because it's easier, and if I'm gonna be honest, people understand bisexuality more than what they care to understand about pansexuality. And it's like everybody knows what bisexual is nowadays, but not everyone knows what pansexual is. So I say that because it's easier, but you know, and I'm someone who has very kind of loose terms on gender and kind of those constructs. So, you know, I'm celebrating Pride, and yeah, I just kind of want you to talk about my views, some of the things that I've seen, some of the things that I've heard, and kind of expressing those opinions and wanting to implore whoever is watching this to also share their opinions or to talk about it or to maybe even think differently about it, because I feel like the first topic I'm going to speak about is kind of, I guess, the discourse of what's happening and kind of what I've been seeing on social media, and everything. So yeah, let's get into that. What have I been seeing on social media? Well, first of all, I've been seeing really cool and really amazing edits that are just honestly so unbelievably inspirational for anybody in the LGBTQ plus community. I mean, heck, throw a few of them up. Again, probably one of the only times I'll be editing this video. I want to make it short. Or not short, but I want to make it so then I can just post it without having to spend too much time on editing. The next video I am posting will explain why I'm unlocking that door so then he kills me. But and I think that's amazing that so many people, even people that aren't even in the LGBTQ plus community, are making videos and talking about it, and in such a positive way as well. It's genuinely so beautiful, and it makes me feel as though that there is a chance of being accepted in a way where it's normal to be in the LGBTQ plus, where it's normal to have a Pride Month and to celebrate it. And that's really cool. But there's also been a whole lot of negativity as well. And we don't even deal with that in just Pride Month. We unfortunately deal with that a lot of the time. And yeah, could you please, guys, please don't let me go on tonight too, okay? Please, kill me so I can get the cheats off. Please, bro. I forgot that I bought them. But there's been a whole lot of negativity, and we deal with that all the time, absolutely, but it is definitely more of a surge of it when it comes to when it's Pride Month. And I can say the same about the positive side of it as well. I mean, obviously people talk about the struggles and even the positives of being in the LGBTQ+, but then there is also a surge of that in Pride Month as well. Did I just hear a whisper? No! Let me take the cheats off, please! This is such an unserious video, but I'm wanting it to be kind of serious. My bad, guys. But yeah, I want to talk about the negative side of it, and goodbye. Anyway, also sorry about the fire alarm in the background, guys. I can't change the batteries. It's not my fault. But like I was gonna say, the negative parts of it. You have people who unfortunately use religion as a crutch to be distasteful and to be just genuinely disgusting. Like literally using the Lord's name in vain, which, quick little kind of fact about that sentence, about that little phrase, using the Lord's name in vain. If you look at the definition of that, using the Lord's name in vain is when you use the Lord's name to do bad things or to say bad things. So those people who are like, oh, well, hashtag, yeah, if you're gay, you're weird and you're burning in hell. Yeah, that's using the Lord's name in vain. And that's not what God would have wanted, no matter which one that you support. It's not. Do you really think a God, a being who is essentially celestial, does not really care all that much about us human beings, would really be so bothered about us liking a certain gender, or us being a certain gender, or us having certain pronouns, or not having, or just being anything? Do you really think they would care? Oh! Do you really think they would care? Oh! Do you really think they would care? Oh! That scared me so bad, bro. Bro. Anyway. Where's the options? Yeah, put these off, please. Fast nights off, map radar. I don't know what that is. How do I get them, like, I don't want you on. How do I take them off? Oh. Wait. What did I just do? Contacting stuff. What do you mean? What does this mean? Anyway, but yeah, that's quite literally using the Lord's name in vain. And as I was saying, do you really think a celestial being... We're switching over to Minecraft. Hold on. Actually cared. Oh, this is actually a really good spawning point. Hold on. Ooh, hold on. This is adorable. Okay, we're just gonna build while I yap in the background. But yeah, I mean, would a celestial being really care about such tiny little insignificant thing, such as labels or such as who you are attracted to? Do you really think people would, like, it's not even a person. It's not. God isn't a person. God is a concept that us human beings could not possibly fathom. Hence why we have religion, because we can't fathom it, so we try to. So we make religion of the fact that there could possibly be a higher being, and this is what we think. You know, this is just what our human interpretation of God is. That is all there is to it. I'm not trying to hate on religions, not one bit. However, I will not deny the fact that I do have the views of that a lot of religions, essentially all of them, that includes Satanism, Buddhism, Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism. It includes all of them. I think a whole lot of them are just simply there to basically manipulate us humans into thinking and believing in certain things that some other guy said a few couple, maybe hundreds of years ago. Right? Okay? Like, and I don't hate them, do not despise them, but I will not deny the fact that I kind of believe that a lot of religions are just there to either, one, give comfort to people, which isn't a bad thing, not at all, or two, just so then you don't conform to something that, again, a person a few hundred years ago said wasn't correct. You know, like, it's a lot of every religion, in my opinion, is basically just an opinion of some person at some point in time. And instead of possibly doing your own research, exploring the world, seeing how that is, you decide to believe in it just because it is a religion, just because you think there could be a God behind it. And again, nothing completely wrong about that. But there is something wrong with it when you use your religion or how you grew up or whatever, when you use that as a crutch to be downright cruel and downright awful. That is when it becomes something bad. And that's not just with religion. That is just with people. All right? People can, will, have, and could, and do use certain things that have happened to them, or just literally anything, to essentially signify and give value and validation to their views. Which is crazy, because not everyone has the same opinion. Anyhow. But, like, yeah, hashtag using the Lord's name in vain is so awesome. I forgot what color. Yeah, and it can and does happen with literally every religion. I've seen Satanists be homophobic. I have seen Christians be homophobic. I have seen Muslims be homophobic. I have seen it in every community. I've even seen people who don't believe in any religions, or people who have the same views as me, have an opinion on people of the LGBTQ plus in not a very, tasteful or nice way. Because it isn't the mindset, it's the person. It isn't the views, it isn't the beliefs, it's the person and what they decide to do with them. A lot of people are just so filled with hate, and sometimes they have a reason for it. Like, maybe, oh, this thing happened to me in my childhood, and that really sucked. And now I'm a super mean, evil Knievel person. And though, on paper, I guess that makes sense, you're a living, breathing person who you have the tools to live and experience, no matter what, even if you don't have money, even if you don't have time. You have the option to do so. I don't even know what I'm doing, by the way. That's making me angry. I'm just gonna miss that color. I'm just gonna miss pink. R.I.P. Like, it's not anything to do with any possible thing you could believe in. It is just simply what you do with who you are. And it's not about what's happened to you. It's not about what could happen to you. It's just simply... That's making me really mad. I don't like this. I don't like it. We're running away. I don't like it. Yeah. So I'm really not trying to hate on... I'm not trying to hate on really anything except from the fact... Oh, hello, village. I'm not trying to hate on anything except from the fact that people just have, in my opinion, bad concepts or bad values of what they think is right or wrong. And they use certain things like religion or past traumas or whatever as a crutch and essentially an excuse to make them feel better about the fact that they're just simply a bad person. I really truly do not think that people who are like, "Oh, you're gay, well, you're burning. You're going to burn in hell." I really truly don't think people who say that actually believe that. I think they're just saying it because they don't like gay people, they don't like bi people, they don't like trans people, and they're trying to basically find something of significance to validate their belief on what they think is normal or good or proper, whatever. Like, why do we have such an opinion on people in the LGBTQ plus when one, it's not bothering you, two, no one's asking you to join it if you don't want to, except from there is very, 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 very small and niche, very small and niche, very, very small, very, very small, unfortunate side of the LGBTQ plus people where, yeah, unfortunately, they do try to just I guess convert people into being a part of the LGBTQ plus because they think that's the only right way. Like there's two sides of the coin, you know? Again, it's not the thing, it's not the thought, it's the person, right? That's just simply it. And everything and anything that can be said or done by a certain human being, it can be done by any human being, no matter what, right? It is just simply that person, you know? Like, if that makes sense. I hope it does. I don't know. I might just be yapping. But, like, absolutely, it's not just, oh, it's just straight cis people or it's just people of a religion. No, absolutely not. However, I'm specifically speaking about the people who are homophobic, transphobic, and the sorts. And also racist people, obviously, because that has a very big play on what I'm talking about. And the reason being is because if you look at the statistics, the most, like, the community, like, the most hate crimed community and the one that faces the most prejudice and harm is, I believe, if I remember correctly, and this is, I'll edit it in just to, another tiny little edit there. I believe it is Black female trans people. I'm pretty sure. It is Black trans females. I'm pretty sure. And so see how they're not a part of just the LGBTQ+, they're also Black. And so not only have they got to deal with, transphobia, but they also have to deal with homophobia. And unfortunately, one thing that I've witnessed, that I've seen comes into play a lot when it comes to homophobes and transphobes, they also happen to be racist. I don't know why. It's like it's a 2-in-1 package. I could not tell you why. Actually, I could. It's because these people are just downright mean. They're just downright awful. And they're just so full of hate that they need to find outlets to express said hate, so then they don't express it on themselves. And unfortunately, trans people, gay people, Black people, those are just so easy to hate on. Hello, Cherry Grove biome. Bruh. Okay. Ooh. I think I'm gonna build here. Methinks yes. Methinks I shall. Anyhow, sorry. So yeah, and I really do want to preface this one more time. I'm not speaking about certain people. Again, I'm not speaking about someone in a certain religion or someone of a certain race or someone of a certain, sexuality, because there is gay men who are very, very, very homophobic towards lesbians. And then you have lesbians that are really, really homophobic to gay men. And then you have trans people who are really homophobic. And then you can have, gay people be really transphobic. Again, it is not I guess it's the person, okay? It's not what they are, it is who they are. And unfortunately, that happens to be a bad person. And obviously, this is my opinion, not everyone will share it. That is completely okay. But when it becomes not okay is when you are trying to justify you pushing your own beliefs onto other people, right? And maybe you might think I sound like a hypocrite. However, I'm just talking about what I think and my views on Pride because it is Pride, and I want to share kind of, I guess, my experiences, my opinions on that, because I am technically a part of Pride. I'm a part of that. I am bisexual, pansexual, and I don't really care about pronouns, so I'm going to be so honest. Um, so, I think I have a right, guys. I think everyone has a right to say whatever opinions they have, good and or bad. It just depends on the way they go about it. Like if they're like, oh, gay people are disgusting and you're gonna burn. Nah, all gay people are disgusting and I hate them and they're evil and blah 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 blah. If you're doing that while showing your opinions, or you're trying to be like, oh, this is why my opinion is correct. Here's the facts, and it's not facts. That is when I just don't support it. You can just share your opinion, whatever it may be, even if I don't deem it as morally correct or something that should be right or normalized. If you're not trying to get me to conform to said opinion, if you're not trying to say said opinion as if it's a fact, if you're not trying to say your opinion as if it is better than anyone else's, and you're talking over other people, that's when I think it becomes a problem. Now, that isn't with all opinions. If someone was to say to me, oh, I think it's completely normal for an 18-year-old to date a 3-year-old, yeah, that, I think everyone can agree that's just no. Even if you are being respectful, sharing that opinion, you're just a pedo, and that's disgusting. But if you're like, oh, I don't think being gay is correct, and here's why. Like, I'll listen to your opinion. I can try and be respectful about it. Hi guys, editor Coquette's here. So at this point in time, my brother came into the room because I was in the living room, and then we started talking, and we started talking about Godzilla. I'm feeling Godzilla. You know that one song? That one, the one song by it? Yeah. Anyway, where did I just leave off in the video? Wait. Oh yeah. Even though I won't agree to that person's opinion, I'll think that it's wrong, possibly even like morally wrong. Even though I disagree with them, like, I'm not going to, depending on what they say, to be fair, what opinion they have. Because if they're saying things like, oh, all gay people deserve to die, and oh, I like little kids, like things like that. Things like that, wishing death, things like, yeah, I'm not gonna be respectful about that. That's not something I think anyone should let slide. If it's like wishing death on a certain group of people, if it's saying disgusting, like immoral things, yeah, that's when I think any normal person would draw the line. And if you don't, and like you like, if you're friends with someone who says like gross stuff, morally bad stuff, and you're just letting it slide, yeah, so you're actually a part of the problem too. Because we should not allow people who are genuinely just like monsters to get away with being monsters. Like, no. I think everybody deserves a safe place, but if people aren't allowing others to have a safe place, get out. Get out, how about that? And we don't give them safe places, because, like, they don't deserve it. Okay? Pedophiles, racists, they don't deserve. And, I think that's with everyone. If you disagree with that and you're that slide, go ahead and block me. Sorry. I'm just, my bad. But genuinely, I think that those opinions are disgusting to have. I could not be respectful about that. But if someone's like, oh, I don't think being gay is right, here's why. They're being respectful about it, though a disturbing and honestly disgusting opinion. Like, most of the time, people who are like that I've experienced, because I have experienced people who have a homophobic mindset, but thankfully they aren't wishing like death or anything worse on gay people just because they're gay. They just think it's wrong. And even though they obviously do have opinions of it being wrong and reasons why they think it's wrong, even though those are bad, I feel like these people, they're not like monsters. I don't think they're full of hate. I think that it's just simply they have not had the opportunity to explore life without those opinions and the fact that they're just kind of rubbish, you know? And I think those people have either grew up with it, unfortunately it's learned behavior, or like I said, had a bad experience happen to, like, something, right? Whether it's learned behavior, whatever. If they're being really respectful about it and they're not saying like the worst of the worst, I think there is genuinely like possibly helping those people to approach a better way about it and not being so rude and cruel with their opinions, and possibly changing their opinion into a better one, such as, oh, gay people are awesome. Absolutely, they have a right to be here and they're not wrong. It's just something that happens. It even happens in the animal kingdom, guys. Okay. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that sometime in this video later, like in the actual video, not just me voicing over it, but I don't remember. And I kind of want to also make it clear, with me speaking about this topic, and obviously originally I was speaking about religion, I do want to make it known, and I do want to make it clear that I'm not specifically talking about one religion. I'm not trying to put any stereotypes or any harmful ill intent onto these religions or onto these specific people, because it's not what they believe in, well, depending, but it's not what necessarily they believe in, what they think, what their opinions are, again, to an extent. It's on if how far those opinions, those beliefs go. Obviously, it depends, but if there's someone who, like I said, ill-informed, something like that, that's someone that can be helped and can change because they're not a hateful person. But if you're hateful, you're genuinely racist, you're genuinely homophobic, genuinely transphobic, like sexist, whatever, if you're just someone who has hate for genuinely no good reason, then nuh-uh, okay? So, like, I'm not wanting to say it's specific people, like, it's not specifically Christians, it's not specifically Catholics, it's not specifically, like, Muslims, it's not, right? And though there can be statistics behind those things, like, yes, there is a higher surge in homophobic Christians, it's not like it's because they're Christian, right? It's mostly because the majority of them are in the US, and the US is a pretty big place. Sorry, guys. I don't, but it is a pretty big place, and there does happen to be a higher, like, rise in Christians than kind of any other religious practice, I'm pretty sure. So that statistic makes sense. It adds, like, yeah. But I'm not saying that it's because they're Christians or it's because they're whatever, or I'm not saying it's a specific demographic, right? Because the only demographic it is racist people. And if you aren't racist, then you shouldn't have a problem with me saying any of these things. And if you're not homophobic or transphobic or sexist or misogynist or misogynistic, that was a tongue twister, say that 5 times fast. But if you're someone who's just ill-informed and have the opportunity to change and you'll actually take it, or you're someone who's just like ill-informed, or you're uneducated, you don't know what you're saying or how you're thinking is necessarily harmful, I hope this video is a learning opportunity. And even though you don't have to maybe follow my values to the exact extent, like, just don't actually have hate in your heart towards people, especially when it's things that they can't control, such as the race, such as their ethnicity, like, you know, or being gay, or being trans, or being a lesbian, or being non-binary, like just don't be hateful, and at least don't be such of a butthole to not even want or try to change at all in any way. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to make it clear, let it be known in this little voiceover, that I'm not trying to hate on anyone or anything specifically, except for racists, homophobics, transphobics, pedophiles, rapists, just bad people, right? And if you're not one of those things, then you shouldn't have a problem. Anyway, back to the video. Miss you.
I just could not understand, and probably never will really understand, why, like, it would be essentially, like, I guess, not considered, but why like a god essentially wouldn't care, like, within the meantime, if that makes sense. Like, if they care about people being gay, whatever, or why wouldn't they do something about it now? And I guess that's just something that I never will truly completely get. Even as much as I can do research, it's just not something I'm basically a part of, I suppose, because I don't, I personally, I'm not, I'm not personally a part of any religion, but I also wouldn't necessarily say that I'm an atheist because I believe that any and all religions, they can slash are true. I think if you have so much belief in something, then it can absolutely become true. And because there's no proof to say otherwise. But even with being like, oh, well, I think it is definitely a possibility that these gods and everything could absolutely be real, I just don't think that necessarily that thing of hell and the like heaven, I just don't think that's true, if that makes sense. Like I wouldn't say that's something that I personally believe in. And kind of the reason for that being is because I don't think a god could be so hating to something that they created, no matter which god that is. No matter. Like I just couldn't see that, you know? I just couldn't see them thinking that such little things such as gender is like that's like a reason to burn. Um, Me personally, I don't know. I'm just gonna do I just couldn't see that being true because even if said, like, I feel like a higher being, a god, whatever, I feel like they either care or they don't care. And if they cared, then I don't think that they would necessarily punish us in the afterlife for being specific things such as being gay and everything. I just I just personally wouldn't see it that way. And then there's the other kind of side of that coin, that opinion where they don't care. And I feel like that's not because they don't care about us. It's just more so that this life is a trial. It is a living experience. It's to try things out. It is to live. And if they're not doing anything about all the bad things in the world, such as Epstein files and people getting murdered, you know, I feel like if they don't care enough to do anything about that, then why would there be a hell or a heaven? Because what necessarily are you going to do in the afterlife? And it's such a concept that it genuinely is just hard to fathom, even with a religion trying to explain it, because it still doesn't really answer that question on why don't they do anything? Oh, because it's like a test and then we can go to heaven or hell. Okay, but like what? Okay, but like then are we just like living in heaven? Like is it like and then in hell we're getting like punished? Like what does that really do to us though? Because if we're there for eternity, what does that, oh my god, another one. What does that really, oh, it's only three. Oh wait, this is kind of really cute. Wait. Aw, so cute. Um like I don't know, maybe I'm just really stupid. Maybe I'm just like super duper stupid. Possibly. That I think that I honestly I think that's true. Um but yeah, a whole lot of people just use religion as a crutch to be hateful, which is quite literally using their lord, even if it's not Christianity or Catholicism, they're still using their perceived God's name in vain, which is crazy, because just say that you're projecting, because you are. Because you are. Because you are. You're just projecting your beliefs onto a celestial being, on a god, which you don't know for certain or for sure. Like, did God write the Bible?
Hey chat, what's up? It is the 2nd of July. Anyway, I'm reviewing this video, doing like a little proofread essentially. And right here I was talking about the Bible and how God didn't write that, because in Christianity and like Catholic belief, like God didn't necessarily write the Bible. But it kind of sounds like I'm saying like all religions, as in every single religion that kind of has like their own religious book, their God didn't make that. That, like, it sounds like I'm coming across as that. I'm not, because obviously like with Muslims, they, in that religion, in the Muslim religion, Allah literally did write the Quran. So I wanted to make sure that I'm literally only talking about the Bible as in like Christians, Catholicism, right? Okay, awesome. Let me get back to the video.
Why are you so fat? Why are you so fat? Oh, you're so chunky. Oh, you're so cute. Anyway, yeah, and then you have also other people that use kind of their own trauma as a verdict on what is on what they deem as good or bad, you know? And that's another thing, like just because someone did something to you, no matter what that is, or a group of people or a certain part of a community did that, whatever it is to you, it doesn't mean that you should have the right, nor do you really have the place to hate on the whole community that happened to share it with those people, you know? Because it's not the sexuality or the gender or the pronouns that is bad. It's not how you express yourself or how you feel. It's not about those things. It is about them as a person. If someone's treated you badly, it's not a consequence of them being gay. If someone hurt you, it's not a consequence because they're transgender. It is just simply because they're a bad person. And though, yes, absolutely, I can understand being more closed off and uncomfortable when you're around a certain like group of people that happen to, that either your abuser or whatever the person was that hurt you is. As much as I can understand that, if you can have the opinion like, oh, this person did this to me, or these people did this to me, or this group of people did this to me within this, like within this community. However, it's not all of them. I keep on making rainbows. It's not all of them. If you can have that opinion, then you're fine. Because yeah, I can absolutely. I think everyone can understand where you're coming from and why you're uncomfortable or possibly scared and or angry. But don't put that anger on the whole community, because if you have such a such a small concept on how humans work, then I don't know, maybe you need to live a little bit more. You need to experience a little bit more, because it's not all of these humane ideals and labels and topics. It's not those things that we've made. It is us. Okay? We didn't make thinking a thing. We didn't make beliefs a thing. We just made a word to explain it. You know? I hope that makes sense. Like, yeah. So it's not the group of people. It's not all the people that are inside community. Like I said, if a gay person hurt you, if a gay man hurt you, it is not all gay men. And to say that is just so, it really kind of just is, you haven't experienced or lived on this earth long enough or tried to change your thinking, because you don't care. You're just filled with hurt. And though, yes, understandable, it doesn't dignify it. It's not an excuse. Might be a reason why, but it's certainly not an excuse to be rude or hateful. Zombie horse! He's got a spear. Like, it's just not. It's just simply not. And though I can absolutely understand it, you know, absolutely, I think anybody and everybody can. And if they can't, then simply they are also part of the problem. I don't know. Personally, I think that a whole lot of people are just so far up their own that they don't care about trying to reason with others. They don't care about listening. They just care about being the loudest in the room and being the one and being correct. That is just simply it. Humans really do love validation so unbelievably much, and they don't care about what the cost is to get that. And that really sucks. But again, it's not all humans, is it? No, it's not all humans. It's just certain people. It's not because of what they are, it's because of who they are. And I think that's a concept that a whole lot of people need to learn. Not only people who are not in the LGBTQ plus, but people who are also in the LGBTQ plus, you know? I feel like a lot of well, I'm not saying a lot of because it's not a lot of, but I feel like there is obviously people who just do not take the time to reconsider what they think or to give the time to listen to someone else. Because so much can come out of just having a conversation with someone without having to talk over them or scream over them because you think your beliefs are correct. Because you're the same type of person that would get mad if someone was to do that to you. So therefore, you're a hypocrite. And being a hypocrite, not completely a terrible thing depending on the context, but within this context, being a hypocrite is just crazy. You know, it's just crazy. Like, absolutely, it's not fun dealing with homophobic or transphobic people. It is not. But if you're getting into a debate or a conversation with one about said topics of transphobia and the LGBTQ plus, then you have to give the time to for them to explain their reasoning without being hateful towards them. Because as a minority, as a community that is so unbelievably hatey to the point we are killed and so much worse, just because we are part of said minority, you should understand what it's like not to be heard. You should understand what it's like to not for people to not hear you out just because you are a part of the LGBTQ plus and because you essentially have that belief and opinion. Like, absolutely, it is not fun, and it shouldn't have to be a thing to listen to homophobics or racists or transphobic people or sexist people. It shouldn't have to be a thing to deal with that. However, if you are in the hypothetical situation of it, listen to them, because there could be a chance you can change their mind. There could be a chance that you can give them a different outlook on it. There could be a chance that you can educate them. But you can't educate someone if you don't know how, if you're not going to try and give them a chance to explain what they need to be educated on. You know, some people are just simply oblivious. And they simply just unfortunately grew up with people being homophobic. And then they learn it. Because unfortunately, yes, it is a learned behavior. Everything and anything that happens within your childhood is learned behavior. What you have in your day-to-day life as a child becomes normal to you. It becomes the norm. So then, yeah, it's going to pass on into your adulthood. But even with that, it's not like every single person that has a specific habit or a specific opinion or a specific belief because of their childhood doesn't have the ability to change. Everybody does, for good and for worse. Everybody does. You just need to be the reason why they think they could change or why they think they want to change, or give them the information and essentially the opportunity to be like, oh, so, like an example. Oh, I had this happen to me when I was a kid by a trans person. Oh, okay. So though that thing is super, super, super terrible, and I'm so sorry that it happened to you, it's not all trans people, however. And I personally don't think just because that one person did that to you, it doesn't justify or dignify you being hateful and rude to other trans people. Because if it was all trans people, why aren't all of them doing such horrible things to you? And you haven't even given them a chance to prove that fact or to not prove it. So you don't know. So what I would say is try to be a little less hateful and have a conversation with a trans person. That's it. All there is to it, you know? And, I was thinking about something I wanted to bring up. Ooh, what was it? Yeah. And absolutely trauma, like, you can still be uncomfortable around trans people within this hypothetical. You can still be uncomfortable around trans people, but do not act as if it's all of them, and do not essentially block yourself off from the opportunity of possibly making a really good friend who happens to be trans. You know, you're sorry guys. Like, don't rid yourself of that chance just because, very understandably so, you're apprehensive about said uh like you're apprehensive you're how did I do that? How did I do that? Oh, I'm such an idiot. You know, and just be nice. Don't infantilize the person and try to explain everything, because me personally, that would make me really mad. But just speaking to them one on one without being rude or hateful yourself, you can and absolutely could give them a new kind of mindset on said topic of said minority, in this case, trans person, you know? And like, again, it's not people. It's not people. Or no, sorry, it's not things, essentially. It's not these little constructs that we have in what we, our little concepts of what things are, that are the problem. It's the people and what they decide to do with them, if that makes sense. I think so. I'm not making sense of myself, guys. My bad. Confuse the enemy so much to the point where you confuse yourself. That's what's happening. And that quote is what's happening to me, except from I'm not really trying to confuse the enemy, because hashtag I have no enemies, guys. Yeah. Um, 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 yeah, and I think a whole lot of good can happen if we just listen to people. Now, that does depend, because there are some very sick and very twisted people out there who do not deserve the chance to possibly change. Absolutely, there is. You know, pedophiles, rapists. Oh, yeah. You know, like, in my personal opinion, doesn't dignify it. Murderers. Yeah. But that is my personal opinion, and I'll absolutely hear people out who are like, "Oh, well, I think those people do deserve a chance," though I will never agree with you just because of that fact. Just because you don't agree with me or I don't agree with you, it doesn't mean that you yourself are a bad person, you know, even though morality wise I think you are a little bit, because rapists and murderers and molesters and pedophiles are freaking disgusting and do not deserve to live. But that is just technically an opinion, because the privilege of morality is only a human thing. That essentially, like, we just have the privilege of having brains and making up words for concepts. Like, we just have that privilege, so we put that privilege to use. You know, so essentially it is a construct. However, because we have that construct, because we have the privilege to have said construct, we kind of, I feel like we have a humane obligation to follow it, because we have the ability to think and to feel and to have opinions and to share them. I think that we absolutely have the right and have the need to kind of follow along with the with morality, in my personal opinion. But again, an opinion. Anyhow, so hashtag it's not the thing, it's the person. Hashtag give people a chance to be heard, even if their opinions are distasteful and or gross and or low-key just morally wrong. Hashtag you could be the thing to make that change, you know? Because what change will really come if, like, what change will really come if it's falling on deaf ears? If that makes sense. Like, how can change happen when how can change happen when I'm trying to think, guys, my bad. I really am trying to think. Um, how can change happen when you're not giving it a chance to be implemented? You know, you're not giving a chance for something that can have change for someone who, like, if you're not giving someone a chance to change, if that, yeah, you guys know what I'm saying, right? Yeah, I'm totally not just speaking nonsense. um, yeah, so hashtag all of that. And then some other things I want to speak about. I kind of want to speak about those views on how LGBTQ plus people are wrong. I kind of want to speak about that, in my opinion, as to why no, I don't think we are wrong in any concept, in any whatever belief. I don't think we are. And yeah, I think I want to talk about that. I think I want to talk about that. Yeah. So the reason why I don't think that, having a Pride Month, being gay, being trans, being whatever, the reason why I don't think that's wrong is because who is it hurting? Really, who is it hurting? Oh my god, a straight person? Who's that hurting? Right? Who's that hurting? It's hurting no one. So then why have opinions on people who are a part of the LGBTQ plus when you wouldn't say the same thing about straight people, Like I don't know. It's like it's a bias. It is a bias. It is a bias, obviously. It's a bias. And that bias is just simply just kind of it's just simply stupid, because how is it the concept of being gay, and why isn't it the concept of being straight? Why is it only simply gay people or trans people or bi people? Why is it simply just that, and why isn't it everyone and anyone? Because does that make sense? Like, why can't it just be, oh, this person did a bad thing, like morally bad thing, yeah, they're gonna burn in hell. Yeah, they're a bad person, they should be arrested, they should be murdered. Why can't it be that just to bad people, and not specifically like labels that don't harm anybody? Why can't it be that? Can we be 17? Like, why can't it just be that? Moo. And guys, did you hear that? I don't even know, I'm such a bad builder. So this is the gay house, the LGBTQ plus house. Following from today, and how'd you do that? How did you? I get it now. Uh, sorry guys, I'm a fat chud. I'm a fat chud. How's that look? No, that's not even. Okay, wait. No, because that's wrong. Is that it? Yes, there we go. Anyhow, like, people, I can, when it comes to some other opinions about the LGBTQ plus, and this one I'm specifically going to speak about is specifically about about trans people. Is the whole entire thing about a lot of states, a lot of countries kind of banning, testosterone use, gender affirming surgery, things like that. I'm gonna speak about that, in my opinion, kind of. Pardon, I burped. Pardon. I'm not gonna do the back, bro. I'm lazy. I'm gonna speak about that because I might as well. Yeah. I personally think that having gender affirming surgery, getting your boobas removed, whatever, I think that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. I really don't. However, I think there is ways in which it can be bad and can be harmful. And these specific harmful ways that are harming to trans people, these are specifically kind of like the reasons I see a whole lot of people who are transphobic have this specific opinion of, oh, gender affirming surgery shouldn't be allowed. One is minors, kids having the opportunity to get testosterone, things like that, when they're able to get those. No. Nuh-uh. Sorry. um, when they have the ability to get said. How did I do it? Oh, I'm really bad. I'm just so not good at building. Is that right? It doesn't look right. I don't know why it doesn't look right on this side. I don't know. I give up. I give up. But yeah. I feel like that's kind of like the main one that I personally see a whole lot is like the fact that kids can sometimes have the ability to get um like testosterone and stuff. I know I'm only saying testosterone is because I can't remember the name for the one for girls. Testosterone and throw up on screen. Yeah. But specifically, bro, why'd that creeper lock into me? Replay that real quick. Hold on. Specific. Thanks. But that's a kind of an opinion that I see a whole lot that people speak of to justify their beliefs, their very hateful beliefs on the LGBT, specifically trans people. And my opinion on that is that I can understand being upset, wary, uncomfortable, angry, things like that, when there is a child that could possibly be harmed from this involved. Because if you look at the facts of it, yes, that can and unfortunately has happened where children, aka minors, people below the age of 18, have taken these hormones and it has either later in life affected them. And how that could come into fruition is when when they start taking said hormone, they are trans, right? And in a couple of years, when they are either an adult or just kind of a lot like after they start taking it, they realize, oh, hey, I don't think I am trans, and they kind of detransition. However, depending on how long they've taken said testosterone for, it can have pretty damaging effects, and they would never really be the same. So, yeah. And that is something that unfortunately has happened, and that really does suck. And so I can get the opinion. I can absolutely understand the opinion. But when it's being used to speak negatively and very disgustingly about trans people, I don't support that. Because then it's not about the kids. It's about you having a bias and just not liking trans people. It's not because you're actually worried. It's because you are just you're just someone who doesn't actually care, but you're pretending to so then you look better and feel better about yourself when no, you're just simply transphobic. That's it. But you can have that opinion, like I do, that, oh, I think that, me specifically, my opinion on it is that I think that anybody that is going to have hormone, like if they're going to start taking hormones, if they are going to have surgery, I definitely think that they need to go through like a therapy kind of like thing put in place, that they need to have therapy and kind of a mental and also physical, because there can and has been times where people have had gender surgery and either one, they can't do it because of something with their with themselves physically, or two, after the surgery something happens to them physically, not because the surgery was done bad or because it looks bad, but because their body just isn't agreeing with it. Like, unfortunately, I have seen, or not seen, but I have heard of people having top surgery, and either one, it wasn't done correctly, or two, it was done correctly. However, they essentially get kind of like growths of like kind of like it's like cartilage essentially, and they start getting kind of like lumps on their chest, and it can be viewable, and then it gives them even more gender dysphoria because, bro, I wanted these gone and now I'm getting them but not really kind of the same that they were, and I just looks like this, and blah, blah, blah. And that can cause problems. And I've also heard of people getting bottom surgery and their body just dejecting it, and it's horrible because then these people can unfortunately never be like they can't be like they can't just be who they want to be, and it sucks so bad because with how far we've come in technology and how far we've come when it comes to surgeries and medication and studying and doing research, there should be a safe way, like 100% essentially, like a 99% safe surgery for all, and it sucks that we don't have that yet. And it sucks that they don't have that yet, because if only life could be that easy, I suppose. And there's things that can happen with testosterone and the female one. I forgot it. My bad. There's things that can also happen with that can be damaging. And specifically, one, pH levels getting really, 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 really screwed up. Also, I have seen cases of people essentially kind of take these, and I guess because of like the risks of it, or maybe because they're taking too much of it, because I know there's a certain dosage of it every day. And I do know technically you can have essentially an overdose on it. Not like an overdose, but like you can take too much. There is unfortunately a too much line there. And unfortunately it has and can be crossed. And that can have lasting damaging effects. And I've also seen, like I was gonna say, I've heard of, not seen, I've heard of people who take testosterone, and the female one, I don't know how I've forgotten it. Yeah, it's just not coming to me. There's people who take the hormones, and it can. I've seen someone who got like a blood clot, like in their body somewhere because of the hormone that they were taking. That's terrifying. That is terrifying. And I'm so sorry, but again, we've come so far as humanity. Why can't we just find a solution so people can just simply be comfortable with themselves? Why? So I definitely think that before going on testosterone or the female one, before going on any gender change, like gender affirming hormones, therapy needs to be put in place, and a physical check needs to be put in place, just to make sure that it's not just you experimenting and that you are sure about this. And also just so then your body is going to cooperate and you will not be essentially like harmed in the long run or the short run. Okay, so yeah, this is uneven. So I need to add one more. I love everything. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're living the dream. Everything is awesome. Yeah, and I'm not saying that because I don't think that trans people deserve the chance or like the right to get hormones or gender affirming surgery. It is not that. Please do not twist my words or put words in my mouth. It is not that. However, I want these people to be able to be who they are without any harm possibly coming their way. And unfortunately, a possibility that can and has unfortunately happened is people who have had these surgeries or taken these hormones and have decided after that this wasn't for them. And though it doesn't happen completely all that often, it is still a thing that can and could be something. You can always be so completely sure in yourself, and that is never, ever a bad thing. But it's also never, ever a bad thing to make sure, you know? How do I do that? Okay, so... Oh, okay, I understand it now. You know? Like, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I know that no one that I've personally really seen in the LGBTQ plus community believes or thinks that, that getting therapy before getting surgery or anything like that is a bad thing. I've never seen anyone in the LGBTQ plus say that. However, just because I've never seen it doesn't mean it's not an opinion that can be had. Because again, anything and everything that you could possibly think of has, can, and will happen. Right? Like, that's just simply it. So hashtag yeah. So, I was just wanting to clarify that, guys. My bad. But yeah, no, I'm generally not meaning that in a hateful way. Because some people could hear that and think I'm being hateful with it or trying to be discriminatory with it. But that is not where I'm trying to come from. And if I am coming across as that, that is not what I'm meaning. And it is never, ever in a million years what I'm trying to mean with what I'm talking about. I just simply want anybody who is trans or non-binary, you know, anything under the trans umbrella, to possibly come in the way of harm, because they don't deserve it. No one does. No one, absolutely no one does. So it's always better to be safe than sorry, because even if it's a very low chance, the fact that it is a chance is still worrying. And like I said, it's never ever a bad thing to get it checked out. And it doesn't mean that you're less than or more than if you do get it checked out. If you're like, okay, I'm going to be going on hormones soon, but I kind of want to make sure that this is something I actually want to do. There's nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. And I think that it's more of a positive than any possible negative that could come with it, you know? I think possibly one of the only negatives that could come out of it is you have like a transphobic therapist / psychiatrist kind of, I guess, essentially brainwash you into thinking and or believing that you aren't actually trans, you're just mentally ill. And that's actually, I think I want to move that on to another topic of that a whole lot of what I see with a whole lot of people that are transphobic, homophobic. One thing that they say is that being transphobic, or being trans, being non-binary, being anything a part of the LGBTQ+, it's mental illness. Right, so if in your opinion it's mental illness, right? If in your opinion it's mental illness, does that still not make it serious? Because, like, then you're still making it serious. You're still agreeing that it's a serious topic, because do we not care about mental health? Like, and I think everyone and anyone can agree that something as depression, which is obviously a mental health condition, I personally have experience with depression. I have it clinically. I have clinical depression. I think. Actually, don't clip me on that. I'm pretty sure I'm diagnosed. I think. Okay, maybe don't take my word for that, but I definitely do have depression of some sort, whether that be seasonal, whether that be just like I get depressed, or whether that I have depression or clinical depression. I have experience within that. And depression for me, it's never went away. Even when I have had therapy and I've had I've had mental evaluations and everything, and I've tried getting help or finding help or doing things that does help, it never goes away. It never does. It's just simply, even if I were to take antidepressants, which I have before, it doesn't go away. It does not go away. It does not just go away. It never, ever will. And that's my reality. And so if your opinion is that being in the LGBTQ plus is a mental illness, then essentially it's kind of like depression or autism, in the sense that it's not going away. Oh, it's something wrong with your brain. Right, well, it's not something we can get necessarily surgery on unless you're telling us to get a lobotomy, which is kind of crazy. Like, there's not a cure for it. So therefore, why say something that is uncurable is wrong? Like, that's just kind of silly to me. That is just silly to me, that people have that opinion that, like, you know, being a part of the LGBTQ plus is you're mentally ill, because it's kind of like a contradiction, really. It's kind of like a contradiction to me, because make it does that not kind of like make it still really serious? And I've seen quite a few transphobic and homophobic people, specifically, transphobic people, be like, "Oh well, being trans it's just body dysmorphia." Well, if you look at a cis straight person who has body dysmorphia, what's something that they do? They get plastic surgery. Right, so what's the difference? There isn't a difference. You just simply have a bias, and you're using the fact that you care oh so much about you care oh so much about gender, or you care so much about body dysmorphia, right? You care so much about that, and yet you're only using it so then you can specifically only be hateful towards trans people. And there will be obviously people out there that also disagree with plastic surgery. Absolutely, that obviously, you know. Um, but like, even with that, your opinion is still just odd, because, like, I mean, there isn't tablets. There isn't necessarily a way around having body dysmorphia. There isn't, or gender dysmorphia. Like, there's not a cure for either. So your opinion really isn't needed, because if it were true, which I guess maybe it isn't even. Sorry. I mean, even if it is true, does it does that not, like, kind of, like there's not a cure for it. So why be so hateful if you genuinely believe that, oh, I don't like plastic surgery and I don't like gender affirming surgery because it harms people and it's bad, blah 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 blah. If you have that opinion, right? If you have that opinion, then, like, why be so distasteful about it? If that, like, makes sense. I don't know if I am making sense. I don't know what I'm doing here. What am I trying to do? Right, so yeah, no, that is right. I don't. What do I don't know what to do. Okay, hold. Oh my god, this is BMI. Oh, fix it. Like, like, it's just, there's not a cure for it, and you telling people, oh, well, it's a mental illness. Okay, telling people who have depression, oh, you've got depression, that's not good. Get antidepressants. It'll never go away. Like, it's just stupid, because you're not solving anything. You're not helping anyone. You're just being mean. And it's like, why care so much about what others, like, someone else is doing with their body? Why care so much about that when it's not your body, it's not harming you? And if you genuinely actually cared about these people harming themselves, or if you actually cared about that, then you wouldn't be making it worse and being like, oh, you have a mental illness, you have a mental illness, you have something wrong with you, you have something very wrong with you, and it's not because you're actually trans, it's not because of this, it's not because you're just mentally ill. You're just mentally ill. Putting just a very minuscule label on something that is a very, 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 like, it's a concept. It's a very, what's the word, complicated concept. It's like being trans, having gender and body dysmorphia. is just simply, like, you can explain it, but if you haven't lived it, then you're not going to know. You're not going to know what that's like, right? And so if you actually cared about these people and them possibly harming themselves or bringing, possibly doing any of that, then you wouldn't be so mean about it and be like, oh, you just have a mental illness, you're mentally ill. Like, you wouldn't. I'm sorry, you just wouldn't, all right? Because you just wouldn't. And I guess that it is a possibility. I didn't realize there was so many in there. I guess that, yeah, it is like a possibility that being trans is just simply body dysmorphia. But, like, that doesn't mean that it's like, it doesn't, I'm trying to explain. It doesn't mean that it's something bad, and it's also not something that said person can really help, like it's, trying to see if that's correct. Bruh. Like, you're making me really angry. You're making me really angry. Like, it's just, I just don't get it, personally. I just don't get it. And if you have that view, if you think that just being trans is just simply a mental illness and that means that they shouldn't, get any gender affirming surgery, anything like that. If you believe that, um, you can go ahead and explain essentially kind of not necessarily why, but kind of like, no, yeah, no, why you kind of would be hateful about it and be rude about it, because there's genuinely, in my opinion, no possible nice way of being like, oh yeah, it's just a mental illness, and then being like, oh, well, you shouldn't get gender affirming surgery. Like, I just don't think those two things really in a sentence make sense to me, because it still makes it real and it still gives a valid explanation and reason to getting said gender affirming surgery, because if they don't get that, they can will, and it's happened, it can happen, just decide that they don't actually want to be here anymore, and then do something about that feeling because of people that have the same opinion that the hypothetical you has, like, I just don't personally understand it or get it, and I'm honestly kind of glad that I don't, because if I did understand to be so rude and hateful and kind of just mean, like, I wouldn't be who I am, and I personally don't completely hate who I am. And this is coming from someone who I've spoken about it a little bit. This is coming from someone who has like said the N-word and has essentially been racist, I never had necessarily any like racist beliefs, but like, I wasn't like, oh, I hate this certain community. I hate black people. I hate people of color. I didn't think that. I didn't believe that. I didn't feel that. However, me saying the N word and making racist jokes within itself, like, that is racist, because what was that? That within itself to me is just like racist, because I don't care about these people, and I obviously don't see. I didn't see the harm that could be done with said word as something actually important, just showing that I didn't really see them as human. I saw them as essentially less than, because if I actually did care about what the possible, like, consequences of what I was saying could do, or the harm done by them, if I didn't actually care about that, then how could I say that I wasn't racist? Because no, I was. That is racism, in my opinion. I don't know if I explained it very well there, but yeah, no, that is, to me, that was and is racist for me to have done. Um, and I kind of realized, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be like these types of people who genuinely feel and think and believe that these people are less than, without just implying it through what they say and do. They genuinely believe it. And I shouldn't have wanted to be like that. And I didn't want to be like that. And so I stopped being friends with them. And I changed my mindset, I changed my feelings, and I changed just kind of who I was at that point in time, to become a better human being, because I didn't want to be racist, because being racist is a choice. It is just a choice, and my experience is proof of that fact. I've lived it, I've experienced it. It is a choice. It is just simply a choice to be that hateful. It really is. And it's really not that hard to change, you know? And sure, absolutely, there still can and will be people who will dislike you because of your past actions, but that's the consequences of what you did. And if you actually cared, if you genuinely cared about what you did and you felt any bad about what you did, then you wouldn't be mad at the fact that people don't instantly forgive you. You know, like if I was to, let's say for example, right, my black friend, Space, we'll bring him up real quick, right? Um, he, like, if I was to be like, oh yeah, I did this, I did that, I said the N word, blah 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 blah. If he was to be like, oh yeah, no, I don't forgive you. I don't want to keep in contact with you anymore. You're getting blocked. If I was to get mad at that, then that's just simply proving that I simply was like just basically I still am racist, and I think that he deserves to give me like deserves to forgive me all because I changed, like, and therefore I'm not seeing his opinions or beliefs as valid and or true, and I don't actually see the harm or the wrongdoing in what I've said and done, and therefore it's just like, you're not actually sorry, you're just being performative so then you look like a better person. Does that make sense? I hope so. um you know, so but like, I don't know, I personally just don't, I just don't get people who have transphobic opinions, and when they realize or find out that said opinion is homophobic, they don't change, because it is just simply, it is just simply a choice, and it's something that is so unbelievably easy to just not be a bad person. You know, it just simply, it is just simply that easy. And because it's that easy, I don't think there needs to be really more said about it, because it's just simply, if you're not someone who's full of hate, and essentially if you are what you say you are and you're a good person who isn't racist, homophobic, transphobic, then you wouldn't disagree with what I'm saying, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. I don't know, guys. Am I yeah, so anyway, I just don't get the whole entire like saying that that being trans is wrong. I just like, I don't get specifically having that view and only having that view because like gender affirming surgery, like I like like saying that, oh, gender affirming surgery, yeah, that's just like, you're just mentally ill. Like saying that, you can't say that and be like, oh, I'm not transphobic. You are. Because you are, though, because you're saying the concept of feeling this way, being this way, you're saying it's a mental illness, and you're saying it as if it's said trans person fault for not being able to not be like mentally ill. Like that's your belief right there, and it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to me. But hey, if you have that belief, go ahead and explain it. I'm not gonna be a freaking butt. I'm not gonna be a butt eater about it. You know, I'm not gonna be rude. I'm not gonna be rude. Um, but yeah. That's like another little topic I'd like to talk about. I kind of want to change it to more of a positive kind of thing. You know, I think I kind of do. I think I want to talk more. I think I want to talk more positive and not just completely negative, because it's not all about the negatives. And unfortunately, being a part of the LGBTQ plus, it comes with a lot of negatives, and they're things that need to and deserve to be talked about. So then people can hear about it, see about it, possibly change how they view it, or just to simply share experiences so people don't feel alone in what they're going through or feel abnormal for what they have went through. And like, it's not a bad thing to talk about the negatives, but I kind of want to go on a more like positive note, you know, just because it's not, being in the LGBTQ plus pride, it is not just filled with negatives. Though unfortunately that is something that happens, and it's is a very big, it's an experience that every single LGBTQ plus person has experienced within their lifetime. Like, you will have homophobia, you will have transphobia, and if you're a person of color who is also LGBTQ plus, you've also got to deal with racism. Like, it is just something that will come, it is unfortunately just something that happens. It shouldn't be normal. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't have to happen. But it does, because people are people, and so many people just suck. So many people just suck. But let's turn it into more of a positive thing about people who don't suck, and opinions and things that don't suck, and everything like that. We're going to a more low cholesterol kind of topic now. Let's talk about all the beauty in it. Because I think that, in my personal opinion, there is just so much beauty that comes with not even just the LGBTQ+, but pride. I want to talk about pride and what that means to me. Pride to me, it's and also I want to like preface this. I'm not going off of like what the definition or like kind of what is like the known like kind of like I guess like reason for pride or like the definition. Like that's not what I'm going off of. I'm going off of what it means to me. And what that is a celebration of love of all kinds, of every kind. And I know we have Valentine's Day. However, with Pride, there's more of like a preface. No, not a preface. There's more of like a significance for the LGBTQ+. But I don't think it's just about the LGBTQ+. I personally think it's not about the labels. It's not about what you identify as. It's about being proud in who you are. Because Pride is about being proud without a fault of who you are, how far you've came, and being sure in yourself. And I think Pride, it's so much about self-love. Loving who you are and being proud of who you have become, despite everything and anything you've been through. Being able to love like that, being able to love yourself despite it all, that is what pride is to me. And I think it's something that anyone and everyone can celebrate that. And it's just such a beautiful thing. It is literally just the month of love of all kinds. Love to who you are, to who you will be, to who you were. Being kind and fair and patient to everyone, and that includes yourself. Being proud of other people, supporting other people, being there for other people. Being proud about the fact that no matter what, no matter all the negativity and the homophobia and the transphobia and the racism that happens, we are still here. And yes, we have lost many along the way. Everybody has, no matter what community. Yes, there has been so many lives lost. And there's so many that are so scared of being who they are. This month is the month to show them that it is scary, but it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful to accept yourself and to express yourself in the most unapologetic way possible. And I think that pride, it's for mothers, it's for fathers, it's for brothers, it's for sisters, it's for everyone. It is for straight people, it's for allies, it's for bisexual people, pansexual people, lesbians, gay people, trans female, trans male, trans masc, trans femme. Like, it is for everyone. No matter your skin color, no matter your age, no matter your lived experience, no matter what or who you love. Pause. It doesn't matter. Like, pride is not for pedophiles or for bestialities or for rapists or for molesters or for the morally bad people. But aside from that, it is for everyone, no matter what. To love yourself, to love others, and that comes in a familial way. That comes in a platonic way. That comes in a romantic way. Like, it is just love beyond the concept of labels and celebrating the fact of just love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love. And and it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful to be able to be comfortable, or to at least be around other people who are comfortable in their sexuality and in their being and in their person. To feel that energy, to be a part of that, even if you're not a part of the LGBTQ plus. It is amazing. It is so unbelievably fun and loving, and it is so just beautiful. It really is. It really truly is to me. And it makes me so sad that so many people just disagree with Pride for a plethora of reasons, when it's like, you're included in it too. Even if you're straight and cis. No matter what color or gender or age or whatever, no matter what, you're included in this too. If you can be loved, guess what? Straight is a sexuality. I think a lot of people forget that. Straight is a sexuality. And even though it's not done, really, and I've never personally seen it like IRL be done. I've heard of stories of people being straight. They can have and could be hate crimed, or have people have prejudice against them just because they're straight. You know, like I said, it's not the concepts, it's not the labels, it's people. And I think Pride is about loving everyone, loving people, loving getting together, loving celebrating love in the most purest of ways, in the most just unapologetic of ways. And I don't know why that's so wrong. And I don't know why people wouldn't want to be included in that. To be surrounded by people who love you no matter what, even if they don't know you, that is amazing. That is so amazing. And sure, maybe you're uncomfortable with two guys or two girls kissing, right? Then you can look the other way. Right? You can look the other way and you can just be there, right? Like, I don't really think there's a complete excuse for it, right? Except from maybe not liking loud noises. Except from maybe not liking people, just in general. Or having anxiety. Like, there can is reasons. But being hateful towards it, I don't understand that. Because you're included in it too. Like, straight is a sexuality, and your pronouns are pronouns, and your gender is a gender, even though not technically a part of the LGBTQ plus. It is under the umbrella term of sexuality. It's under the umbrella term of gender, right? Like, not the umbrella term, but like, it's like within, if you were to put it in a box, straight is in the box of sexuality, and along with it, gay, lesbian, such and such. And with gender, you in that box, you have cisgender, and then you have transgender and non-binary, and you see, and then your pronouns fit into the box of any and all pronouns. You know, like, you're included in it too, and I don't think that's a bad thing personally, because we have to, like, guys, me writing on the paper with fire and flames, it's kind of stopped now, and now it's water. I'm writing with water. But I think that everyone and anyone can be included. Again, not anyone, not everyone. Pedophiles, you better watch out, bro. You're not welcome here. But I think that essentially everyone can be included in Pride and can celebrate it, because it's a celebration of love. But it's also a celebration to our fighting spirit, for fighting for our basic rights, for fighting to be normalized, because it should be normal. Love should be normal. And I don't know why it's not. And I don't know why it's such a hard concept to grasp, that love is normal and that hate shouldn't be the go-to. I personally just don't get that. Like, it's not just about the love. I think that's, like, kind of the biggest aspect of it. But it's also the remembrance It's the memorial of all that we have lost and all that we have given just to come this far. And it's a celebration of all of our ancestors who fought for us to be here and to be able to be here and to love as freely as we can, even if unfortunately not to the fullest extent. We've come so far as a community, and that is also a part of the celebration. And yes, straight people, unless they're allies, don't completely get, even if they are allies, they don't completely understand what it's like to fight for that, right? Except from women, because we fought for our rights. I think that feminists, and I say that with quotation marks, who are homophobic or transphobic or racist, you cannot be a feminist, because what feminism is, it is fighting for equality for all. It is just fighting for equality. And so the feminists in quotation marks that are like, oh, kill all men, or the feminists that are homophobic or transphobic or racist, you simply just can't be a feminist with that. You just aren't a feminist, because that goes against the very views of feminism. Like, what? Why are we contradicting ourselves? Like, what? Kind of weird. Like, why would we do that? Why are we like being performative with being a feminist? Like, I just don't get that. I just don't personally get that, you know? But being a feminist, that is equality for all. That is equality for trans people. That is equality for black people. That is equality for Asians. That is equality for Hispanics. That's equality for white people. It's equality for Middle Eastern people. It is equality for everyone. It's equality for brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, uncle. Like, it's equality for everyone, no matter the age, no matter the gender, no matter the race, no matter like the ethnicity, no matter the sexuality. Like, it doesn't matter. It is equality for all, except for morally bad people. But even with that, is essentially also with certain like pedophiles and rapists, you do not get equality. #die. But people who are unfortunately racist or transphobic themselves, also fighting for equality for them, just because they're a person, like giving them the chance to be able to see the good in the earth, and hopefully hoping that they choose the right decision, aka not being racist or transphobic. You know, because it's a choice, and feminism is about giving that choice to everyone, no matter good or bad. Like, well, yes, matter. It does matter, depending. Like, if you're hate criming people, you don't deserve equality. If you're a rapist or a molester, or like you don't deserve equality. No, you don't. #die. Please gently do die. And I'm whispering because I'm looking kind of scared that YouTube will like ban me or something, because I'm saying these topics, because I don't really completely understand how YouTube works. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm too woke. Like, I don't know. But yeah, no, like, it's equality for essentially anyone, and giving them the choice, because everyone should have a choice to be whoever they are, except from, you already know. Like, that's what it is. So you cannot be a feminist and be homophobic or racist or sexist, like misogynist yourself, like, or even that, like, misogynistic, because you'd be surprised at how many feminists there are that are literally misogynistic and hate women. What am I looking up? Like it's pretty, like, yeah. But I didn't ask for you to go there. Thank you. Like obviously, I think females, they'll get that, because we have fought for our rights for literally like hundreds of years. I think that Native Americans also should get it, because they have fought so hard for just being able to live, you know, being able to be here. Black people, again, you know, like I feel like everyone, not everyone, but essentially most, I guess, like, communities have within their like race or whatever, have kind of at some point their race has experienced something. And so hashtag you should get it. You know? But anyhow, like I don't understand how people who are like black or a female, I don't understand or get how you could be homophobic or transphobic, because like something that we have in common as two like communities, like we have literally been killed and worse for what we are, for who we are. So it is just kind of crazy to me how, you know, people who are like women could be homophobic, that black people could be homophobic, you know, or not women, but specifically like feminists. Like, I don't know how, because if you actually care about that, you know, if you actually did care about what has been done to you and slash like your people, then you wouldn't be homophobic or transphobic. You just wouldn't be, you know? And if it's someone who, like, and you also wouldn't be racist, no matter to what race that is, whether that's black, Hispanic, Asian, white, is that all the races? I think that's all the races. I think. I don't actually know. I don't know if there's any more races than that. I don't. Wait, Asian, white, and black. Yeah. And then when it comes to ethnicities, that's like everywhere. I'm an ethnicity. My ethnicity is Scottish. I think. Wait. Yeah, I think that's right. I actually hope so. So it's not. I've just embarrassed myself. Anyway. But like, yeah, no. I just don't get it personally. I just don't get it, and I'm glad that I don't, because you know. And again, in my opinion, it's a choice. Like, I guess at some point I did kind of understand what it was like to be, you know, say I was a feminist, and things like that, and everything. And yeah, I was saying like not homophobic, racist things, and I was saying the N word, hard R and soft A, like, you know. But I grew from that. I did it on my own terms, but not everyone will. And hopefully, me speaking about it, maybe someone will see this and be like, "Oh, maybe I should stop being like homophobic or transphobic or racist. Maybe I should just like stop, because like, literally, what's the point in it? Like, why spend your life in so much hate?" Anyway, but Pride is also about fighting for our freedom. It's about the fact that we have fought for what we have now. And even though I don't get it, I don't understand how people could not, like, even if they don't understand it, could not support that. I could understand maybe not be wanting to be a part of it. I can get that. I can understand that. But not wanting to support it, I just don't get. I really don't. I really truly don't. Because probably, no matter who you are, like, you've probably, like, went through a time and place where you weren't being supported and you weren't able to be who you were, and you're possibly kind of like projecting those feelings onto LGBTQ plus because you didn't get the chance. But then I feel like that gives you all the more reason to support it and to be a part of it. Like, no one's asking you to like convert into being gay. No one's asking you to do that. But to just be an ally. And what it is to be an ally is to just support the LGBTQ plus and to speak out against wrong. Like, you can't say that you're an ally and then have friends who say the N-word and you just let it slide. You know, you can't say that you're an ally if you have friends who say the F slur and let it slide. Like, you just can't. You know, you just can't. You just cannot. Oh my lord, that was so fast. Like, you just can't, you know? And like, I can get it if like you have like a gay friend who's saying the F slur as a joke, or they allow you to say it because they, like, I don't know, gave you the pass. I don't yeah. But if it's like you have like cis straight people that you're friends with and you're just allowing them to say that and be hateful, then no, you're not an ally. You're not. You're just not. And it's so not hard to just like be woke. And a whole lot, like, it's so weird because the definition of woke has changed. It is so weird, like, specifically, like the definition of it and what it actually means and how it's used in, like, slang, essentially. Hold on. Pause. And, like, yeah, I don't get not wanting to support Pride. I don't get that. Because why? You don't have to understand what we as a community have went through. You don't have to understand what it's like having things done to you, said about you, beliefs on you and who you are and what you are. You don't have to understand what it's like for people to have such negativity and downright disgustingness and genuine evil towards just what you either decide to identify as or what you like, what you're attracted to. And I just don't get it, because why wouldn't people just want to, like, you don't have to understand. No one's asking you to, like, become gay. No one's asking you to do anything, right? You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. Well, if you're an ally, yeah. But, like, just simply supporting the LGBTQ plus, even if you're not necessarily an ally, I guess, like, just not being so hateful and thinking that we deserve to die, you know? Or thinking that we deserve evil atrocities, or thinking that we don't deserve to exist just because it doesn't fit your construct in your, like, conceptual view on what normality is. Like, that is crazy to me. Just because we don't fit into your belief system, into what you think and see and know is normal. I just don't get that. Because why is it so hard to just, like, you don't have to understand it, you don't have to get it, but don't just be pure evil because of what we are and who we are. Because why don't we deserve the same rights as you? Just because your opinion. So there's not, like, an actual fact behind it. So then it's BS. It is just simply crap. It is just a whole load of crap. And, like, I just don't get why you wouldn't want to support just love. You don't need to know the history of how Pride came to be, or how we came to be who we are. You don't need to know the history of it. You don't need to know the definition of it. All you need to do is just not decide that we are worth killing because we don't fit into your construct of what you think is right or wrong. And that's it. That is simply all there is to it. No one's asking or begging you to change who you are completely. But if you're someone who hates gay people or trans people and you think we deserve bad things because of who we are and what we are, just why? Because that is a choice. It might be something that was stuck into your head as a kid, but doesn't mean that you can't change. And if you don't want to change, then you're just a hateful person. That's simply it. You don't even have to change all that much. You just need to be like, okay, this person's gay, and that's right. And just move on from it. Just move on for it. That's it. Also, my bad for saying I. That's like, what was it, AAVE? African American. My bad. Oops, sorry. My apologies for that. I did tend to use AVE quite a bit. African America African American vocabulary. Some throw up the definition. I do use it quite a bit. I do apologize. Um, but anyhow, I just I just don't get it. I don't know why you would want to be so hateful, because and I've seen people who are like, oh, like was it? I think it's I could be wrong with this, but I'm pretty sure. Pardon me. I'm pretty sure this is like, bro, ew, oh, pardon, sorry. Ew. Um, like this is kind of like another argument that I see, and it's like, oh, and do correct me if I'm wrong here, but veterans only get like a week or a day or something like that, and I'm pretty sure that's wrong because I'm pretty sure they like um I just said the word. Pause. Wait, the like the word for people who have fought. Wait. uh Veterans. Sorry guys. Um I'm pretty sure veterans already have like a month. If I'm wrong with that, my apologies. And even if they don't have a month, I think it's like kind of like known that yes, respect veterans. They have fought for people.
Hi, Editor Cat here. So I wanted to quickly add something in while watching this because I'd never really see it talked about. But also, veterans can and have been also a part of the LGBTQ plus. There is multiple instances of men who have been gay, who have been discharged or dismissed because they are gay. And not only that, but there was I forgot the name, but like doctors and nurses on scene, like military medical people, right? And they also were gay, lesbian, things like that. And these people, there's a lot of instances of them getting kind of like beaten up, assaulted, because of them being a part of the LGBTQ plus. So there is veterans out there who not only have fought for their countries, have fought for freedom, but have also fought in for the basic right to just be treated like a normal human being because they're also gay. So let that be known as well. That obviously veterans also can be gay, and there's a whole lot of veterans. I've talked about their story. I've talked about what they went through, and I'd absolutely say looking into it because these people's stories, they're terribly crazy and they're so unbelievably sad. But thankfully, quite a few of them have happy endings. Yes, I'd say look into that and everything because I forgot to mention it. Anyway,
They have died for people, but so have the LGBTQ plus. You know, and again, I don't think it's like it's not just veterans; it's everybody. It's not a label of someone who has specifically fought for something and died for it. It is anything and everything. Like it's not the concept. It's not. It's not that. It's just simply not. You know, it's just not. Like, am I making sense? So, and it's like I don't understand how you could like be like, oh well, veterans, they only get this and that, right? And but then they fought for us, for our country, and yet essentially LGBTQ plus people did the same. Maybe not for your country, but for people. And isn't that the same? You know, isn't possibly the people in the LGBTQ plus from your country? So I just, like yeah, like I might. Like I don't get that. Like if you have such a care about people actually fighting and dying, then you would also care about people in the LGBTQ plus because we have also fought and died for our freedom, for our win. And what did veterans do? They fought for your country's freedom and for them to win. So I don't see what the huge difference there is, because LGBTQ plus people have been in war for years just fighting for being able to be themselves, and that really is just not that different for what veterans have done. It completely really is not. Maybe we didn't have like bazookas against us, right? Also, I do want to quickly say, Loki, the way that I'm coming across here is very anti-veteran in that, oh, well, LGBTQ plus people and veterans have went through the exact same things. We haven't. We have not. Not to the, like closest of degrees, right? Like, if you take, because it's not every single veteran that has been in bombings and have had their limbs torn off and have witnessed their friends and family die, right? It's not every single veteran, and it's not every single LGBTQ plus person has went through that either. And not every single LGBTQ plus person has had to fight just to live, right? Like, I'm not trying to make what veterans have experienced because they have PTSD. They have seen their own family, their friends die right beside them. They have witnessed bombings. They have witnessed people trying to breathe without lungs. They have witnessed literal hell on earth. But I'm trying to come across as like, when it comes to people giving respect to either veterans or LGBTQ plus people are going to give it to veterans more because they have fought. However, so have LGBTQ plus people, right? If you take every single person in the world that is LGBTQ plus, right? That's essentially a whole entire country, right? That's a whole entire country, and we're all fighting for it. We are all fighting for it. And what veterans do? They fight for their country. So I really hope that me explaining that maybe made it sound a bit better, because I didn't realize how my words kind of sounded there, and how kind of like dismissive I'm being of the trauma and the absolute just literal hell on earth that veterans have went through. And I'm not trying to say it's all veterans. I'm not trying to say it's no veterans. I'm not trying to say it's all LGBTQ plus people. I'm not trying to say it's none LGBTQ plus people. I'm just saying when it comes to the fact that we both, as in both LGBTQ plus and also veterans, have fought for our rights and fought for us just to be here. That's what I'm meaning similar. Not necessarily the how we're doing that or how we got there. Another thing I think both veterans and LGBTQ plus people can relate to, and obviously not all of them, but some of them, is the fact that we have lost our brothers and sisters to the fact of us being something or not being something, you know? Anyway, I'll let you get back to the video. Oh my god, this is so long. But I'm not talking about how it happened. I'm talking about the kind of like the reason why. And the reason was freedom. And if specifically you're American, then your guys as veterans quite literally fought for your freedom. You know? So I don't get that. I just unfortunately I just personally don't like, you know. But absolutely have respect to veterans. I just want to like preface this, like, please do have like respect for veterans, even if you're not from a country that specifically had veterans like fight in war for. Like, if you are LGBTQ plus or you're an ally, I also find it very like hypocritical if you are someone who's asking for acceptance and yet you're not accepting others, and in this case specifically veterans, you know, because not all veterans are bad, you know, not all veterans are evil. And so if you have an opinion on just all of them, then I think that you are a hypocrite, and I don't know how you could be in the LGBTQ plus, which is literally like essentially the most hated community ever. Like I don't, you know, I don't get that. Like, I don't know why it's so hard to have just basic respect for anyone and everyone, except for when they give you a reason not to be respectful. You know, like I just don't, I don't get that personally. But yeah, like I Pride is just all about love. It's just all about acceptance. And I truly do think and believe that it is just essentially for everyone. Except it is just simply for everyone. And I don't know why, or like, I just don't get how you could not want to be supportive of that, or just specifically not be supportive of that, unless you are just someone who's just filled with hate. You know? Like, I just don't get that. I really do not get that. And yeah. More on the positive side though. Pride is just all about love. It's all about the proof that we made it, that we're here. We're still fighting. We're still fighting. We fight every day. Not only with the opinions of others or the laws of our country, but also with ourselves. Because we have been buried in opinions and beliefs that we, as a concept, we're just so wrong. We shouldn't be here. And yet, we still are here. And though the war is never ending, you know, what we're fighting against, that will never truly go away. Ever. Will never fully, completely be accepted by anyone and everyone. But we've still come so far. And we're here at a point in time where we can basically love We have communities where we can love full-heartedly without any harm done to us. We can express ourselves now in the most honest and purest and dignified way possible. And we can still fight. We can fight for those who we've lost. We can still fight for the... Right. We can still fight. And we should still fight. Unfortunately, there will never, ever be a chance or a reason where we can stop fighting. Like I said, it is a never-ending battle, not just with others, not just with society, but with ourselves too. So we will keep fighting, and Pride is proof of that. It is a month every year where we get reminded of what we're fighting for, and what we're fighting for, not only acceptance, but equality. We're fighting for the chance to love, to be loved. We're fighting for the right, the basic human right, to be creatures that are full of love. Because we are made of love. We truly, absolutely are. We are made of love in every way. And we'll never stop. And Pride is proof to the fact that we will never stop. Pride is proof of the fact that we shouldn't ever stop just being love and to love and being loving to others. Because there's truly no difference between a man loving a woman and a woman loving a woman and a man loving a man and like a non-binary person loving a non-binary person. There's nothing wrong with a man loving a non-binary person or a non-binary person loving a woman. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with your pronouns or what you identify as. There's nothing wrong with just loving who we are and loving who others are at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. And that is something to be proud for. That is something to be prideful of. So keep on loving. Keep on being who you are. Keep on being kind. Keep on being passionate about what you believe in. Fight for not only yourself but for others. Do not keep your voice silent. Do not allow others to speak louder than you and to cover up your voice, because there will forever be a place always for you to speak about what needs to be spoken about. Spoken about, whether that is you're making a video like me on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram, or you are like doing like essentially a TED talk with a microphone. Like there's always a chance to fight, and there's always a chance to speak about what's right. So why not do it? Because what harm does it do? It does none. All it does is good. So don't stop fighting, don't stop loving, don't stop accepting, don't stop being who you are. And always try to find reasons to be kinder. Try and find reasons to love more. Try and find reasons to be a creature made of love and stardust and light and beauty. Never stop. Never ever stop being who you are. And yes, along the way, changes may be made. Maybe in a year's time after you see this, you'll be a completely different person. But please just don't stop love. Stop trying to silence love. Don't silence love. Do not. You don't need to say your piece unless it is fighting for love and unless you're expressing it. So, #TLDR. Love yourself. Love others. Be kind. Be nice. You don't have to be necessarily kind, I guess. Just be not hateful. Don't be mean. Because it is just that simple. Because it's a choice. And I think that everyone should have the right to choose love. And I hope that maybe after this video, if you weren't already, you choose love. Because no matter what in this world, it is essentially always a fight between love and hate. So be the change that you want to see. Be the change that we need. Be the change that is good, that is not harmful. Because, again, what bad does it do? I think with that, I am essentially done with the video. I don't really think there's completely another concept that I want to talk about. Maybe I might talk about another one where I add like another love heart here because the unevenness is killing me, so never mind, not done. But I think in the meantime, maybe I'll speak about my experiences, so then whoever's watching this can get to know me more, and so then I can share more about kind of what pride means to me. Yeah, let's get into that. So when I found out that I liked women, I was 5 years old. And it was because I had unlimited internet access. Absolute peak. You can say whatever you want about my mum and my dad's parenting, but I'm genuinely so glad that they did this. Really, I am. Because at that point in time, there was a whole lot of fighting in my house. There was a whole lot of scariness that a 5-year-old, shouldn't necessarily be around. And though not the best of my parents, it's not necessarily their fault that there was fighting and screaming. It is not. It's their first time on this earth too, and I'm pretty sure if I was in either or situation, I also would be screaming and fighting. And my kind of only escape from that was YouTube. And on YouTube, I found out girls. And I kind of I guess I found it out sooner than that. Maybe I had a crush at someone at my school or something. I'm not completely sure, but that's kind of the first realization that I liked girls, And how I found out is that I would just kind of watch specifically Nicki Minaj's Anaconda video on repeat. And there's kind of this one part, I think she was on a bridge that I would just repeat all the time. And then also Rihanna's and Shakira's I remember to forget you. Oh, 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 I can never forget you. Oh, 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 and then there you go. When you look at me, it's always kissing in the moonlight. Oh, 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 I can never forget. I love it to keep on me. Do anything for that boy. 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 Oh, 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 I can remember to forget you. Sorry guys, hashtag speed that up and edit. But yeah, I used to watch that video all the time, and it's specifically this one scene where they're they're on the opposite sides of the door, and they're their backs are against the wall, and yeah, yeah, I can't lie, I was I was a little freak, but kind of going more a serious topic, I guess, about it. I guess kind of the complete and real way that I found out. I don't really like talking about it all that much, kind of. And maybe one day I'll explain why, but I think my first love that I ever had, and not even just in a completely romantic sense, just my first love, was a girl. And she was my everything. And she quite literally meant, she was my whole world. It wasn't that she meant the whole world to me. It was the fact that her being made the whole world matter to me. She was the reason why. She's the reason why I am who I am. And she's the reason why that I can love who I love, that I realized what I loved. And she's truly the good within my soul. And I loved her more than anything. I still love her more than anything. I would genuinely give and do anything for her. And she was the reason why I had such a peaceful childhood when I think otherwise maybe I wouldn't. I mean, she was the reason why I essentially woke up in the morning, and she still is. She's the reason why I'm still here today. And though she'll never know that, she is. She's the reason why I still live and breathe as I am. And she's also the reason why I didn't go through anything that I could have went through, really. And she is genuinely my everything, like forever and always. She is the love that I have within me. She is that. And no matter all or any of the bad that I could and have went through, she was worth it. And I would go through anything and everything again. I would go through anything and everything and anything again, just for her to know, just for her to be in my life in any type of capacity. And the kind of only way I can have that now is if I keep on going and if I keep on living, because otherwise she's not here. Yeah, so yeah, and I think at the start, when I first I think at the start of really everything in me as a person, I I think at the start I was like a lesbian. Like I didn't really, it wasn't necessarily that I didn't like men, but I just didn't care for that. I didn't really care about liking a guy. But at first I was I didn't really like a guy. I didn't really like men, but I definitely liked females. Pardon. So, I was essentially I was just a lesbian. I didn't really have any attraction to men except until I was a bit older and kind of started realizing more about myself. And also just kind of seeing how kind of people treated lesbians at that time. Because even though it wasn't that long ago, it was certainly still a very kind of taboo, or even kind of lesbians were only kind of a thing that could be done or be here simply just for men, you know? It wasn't as accepted then as it is now. And so when I kind of started watching more YouTubers, learning more, experiencing more, I think I had my first kind of crush, complete actual crush on a guy when I was 6, or bro, I don't want to do it, 7. Which I feel kind of bad about it because my first ever relationship happened when I was 5, when I was a lesbian, and I dated this guy, not because I wanted to, not because I liked him, but because I was kind of peer pressured into doing so. I'll maybe talk about that another day. But I was peer pressured into dating him. I did it, and then he cheated on me with a girl online, and I was so unbelievably disrespected him that I literally beat him up. And then I walked him home telling him to shut the heck up, or I would make him cry harder, and I'd make him cry every day, and I'd make him regret ever telling anyone. Yeah. Listen, guys, I really did not play about being disrespected back in the day. Okay, I did not play about it. So, I've lost the house. Okay, follow the rainbow, follow the rainbow, follow the rainbow. Found it. So, yeah, but It's like the first time dating a guy. Well, I don't know if you personally would really say that was a like an actual relationship because obviously it wasn't freaking committed. Sorry guys, I'm looking so mad about that, bro. Like what? 5-year-old me did not deserve that. Like she didn't even do nothing, bro. Like why did you cheat on her? The flipper doodle. But I wouldn't say it's like a serious relationship because like we're both like 5, so we don't really have a concept on kind of or like a value on what a relationship is. So um, it's like handing a baby car keys and putting them in the front seat of a car. Like they don't know how to drive it. They don't know what they're doing. Like what? Anyway, but I think I first like properly like started like liking guys like in a romantic sense. Like actually like either like genuinely when I was either 6 or 7. Um, but it isn't the same at that time. It wasn't the same as liking a girl. It was like different in a way. Like I definitely back then had way more of a preference for women than what I did men. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, chat. I had to quickly go to the toilet for a pee pee. Anyway, but I'd say like now, low key, I don't know if I have a preference for either. Honestly, don't know. I haven't dated anyone or kind of done anything. 2 years, I think, since January 2024. So yeah, 2 years, coming up 3. And honestly, I don't plan on getting into another relationship if I'm going to be honest. Not like a boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend kind of relationship. Like I'm just kind of I mean with a situationship. Fine, but not anything necessarily like completely committed if that makes sense. Obviously not trying to lead to anybody on. Do not say that, guys. Do not say that. That is not me. I'm not a player. Trust. I have no huzzes. But a little bit of flirting don't do no harm. Sorry, guys. I'm just really lonely, can you tell? But I'm not mentally stable enough for a relationship. Anyhow, but yeah, I don't really think I have a preference now. I just think I'm like, oh, that person's hot. That person's hot. That person is not. Sorry. AKA the person who's watching this. Okay, cool, guys. Now put like a black screen when I said this person is not. Please, that'd be very funny. Sorry about that, guys. I'm joking. Um, but anyhow, and I personally haven't necessarily like, at least from what I can remember, I've never really necessarily had like anything like homophobic happen to me completely. I've obviously had people call me the F slur. I've had people call me the D slur. I've had people call me all the slurs actually. Well, not all of them, but the majority of them. Even the one for Scottish people. So like I guess I have faced, I guess, like some homophobia, but not to the point where it was completely judgmental to me. Honestly, the most like harming thing that's ever came from me being bisexual, and specifically the part of that liking, I guess, like women, is some like trauma that happened to me, and that kind of actually made me internally homophobic. And now I'm honestly, because of like the internalized homophobia that came from that, because it like traumatized me, um I'm still like learning kind of how to accept myself and be okay with that side of me, and learning that it's okay for me to have these feelings, and it's not something that I should view myself as disgusting as for being attracted to women. And kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, but like if you have a like traumatic experience with like a certain like, I guess like if you have like the analogy that I was saying with let's say you have like a trans person hurt you, and then like you're transphobic. Like it's not all trans people, and I know that it's not all lesbians, it's not all bisexual women, it's not all women, point blank period. Um, and that's not the like kind of where that internalized homophobia comes from. It's more so that I think I'm disgusting for it. Like I think there's something wrong with me. But then I see other bisexual lesbian people, lesbian women, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, true, chill. That's awesome, bro. Nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to me, oh yeah, no, I'm disgusting. I'm so biased. I'm biased. I'm a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. Run. But yeah. So that's been kind of hard to kind of, I guess, navigate and come to terms with. But I've definitely healed, I think, quite a bit, as much as I probably can, really. And I think like kind of like the next step is like becoming more comfortable with like flirting with women, being with women, dating a woman, because I haven't done that in like years. Last girl that I dated was 2020/2021. Um, and unfortunately, there might be someone who watches this and has that whole entire thing where it's so weird. It happens to bisexual men and bisexual women like all the time, and there's like two sides of the coin for essentially both. But one like leans more like for like bisexual women. I see like kind of like the prejudice that they're not actually bisexual if they haven't dated a woman or like slept with a woman or like just like kind of been with a woman. Like if they haven't had that, then they aren't bisexual. Even though like it's not necessarily doing or being with a woman that makes you bisexual. It's the attraction towards a woman, because they're a woman. Like that's what makes you bi. Hashtag weird. And I see that happening with bisexual women. It's like, oh well, if you've never dated a woman and you've never women, when I say like that, women, if you've never been with a woman, then you're actually just straight. You're actually just straight, and you're a performer. You're performative, and you're just doing it for the male gaze. Yeah. That, and then you just get like called straight. That, or people are like, oh, so you're lesbian. And it's like, no, I like both. I like both. But the one that I see more often, and I've experienced more myself, is just like people thinking that I'm just straight. Even though I've dated, I might have to bleep out the names because I'm going to have to say them. I dated 5 women in my life. And the majority of those happened, 3 of them happened when I was like young. It's not necessarily like actual committed real relationships. One happened when I was like kind of like 11-ish, like 10. And then the last female that I dated was in, like I said, 2020. So when I was like 11, no, not 11, like 12, no, like 11 to 12, roundabout, I think. I can't be bothered doing the math on that, but it was like 2020. It was either like late 2019 to 2020. Like I dated her for like a couple of months. And that was like the first kind of like committed relationship, because with all the other relationships, it wasn't women that actually liked women. It was unfortunately women who were either one experimenting, or two, it was women who I dated because in primary school guys were gross and thought it was hot. I like it. Unfortunately, it was people who it was women that weren't like actually bisexual or lesbian. It was just people that were using me to, I don't know, they were just using me. Hashtag meh. Hashtag kind of sucks, guys. Hashtag kind of sucks. But whatever. Uh, so I don't really know if those can be counted as like relationships, but like people that I've called girlfriend, and people that have called me girlfriend. Hashtag part. Actually, Actually, I think I came back from the toilet and I was thinking, I'm pretty sure I forgot something that I was going to say earlier about a woke and what the meaning of that was. Like, I literally just remembered. Because I'm pretty sure I was like, oh, well, woke now means like blah, blah, blah. But I didn't actually speak about it. Let me quickly get onto that before I get onto the rest of the topic that I was just talking about. So what I meant about that originally is, what I was going to say is, woke is not a bad thing. Being woke is not a bad thing, because what woke means, literally like the definition of it, before it essentially got turned into slang with a different meaning. What the actual real definition of it is someone who is an advocate about things that are wrong, and they speak out and fight for things that's like, they fight for the things that are right, and they speak out against things that are wrong, such as homophobia, homophobia, transphobia, such and such. I don't know why that term like gets used as an insult now, because why is it such a bad thing to be woke when it literally just means fighting for what's right and speaking out against against things that are wrong? Like, and that means everything and anything. Like, that can be inequality to anybody, like gender, sexuality, race, ethnicity. Like, it's not anything bad. And I just kind of find it like really weird how kind of like time and time again, things that are like not bad, not when I say again, like number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus, but that might be what you get. Bro, you tell I'm tired. It's 5 in the morning. Oh my lord, oh my days. But like I just kind of find it like weird how a lot of the time, low key, I see like things that aren't necessarily bad that have to do with either like a certain race or sexuality or something like that, like just like anything, and it gets turned into something that's bad. I don't know, food for thought, I suppose. Anyhow, back to what I was originally talking about though. And then I see with like bisexual men, I see like the same thing happening to them, and like they get the whole entire like, oh well, I'm not even on like I'm not even, I'm on creative, bro. That gen scared me. That scared me so bad. Anyhow, I see it happen with bisexual men as well, and kind of like the one that I see mostly get done towards bisexual men, like the two sides of the coin that they low-key get, like heads versus tails. They normally get heads, and heads being, they just get called gay. Why am I looking up head? I'm so tired. Like I I see I've seen this happen, and I've also seen like bits from this one gay creator. No, he's bisexual, I'm pretty sure. I think he quite literally is bisexual. I'm pretty sure he is. If I'm wrong, hashtag throw that up on screen, but I'm pretty sure this creator is bisexual himself. But he makes like bits, and like this exact topic that I'm talking about is one of the bits that he's done, where it's like bisexual women and bisexual men. And he's so right with it, because with bisexual men, they literally just get called gay, and you can have females being like, oh, I always wanted a gay bestie, which is exactly what he says in the video.
I'm bisexual, actually. Oh, cute. Is that in a I want to be cool and edgy kind of way, or are you actually bi? No, I'm bi. But like, are you dating a girl, or? Well, right now I'm actually dating a man. But... Oh, well, then you're not really bi then, are you? You're straight. Yes, I fucking am. I've dated girls in the past. You pulled a JoJo C with an A. Every girl just needs the right man to turn her straight. But I'm not straight. Guys, can you back me up here? Yeah, babe, we don't claim you. You have a boyfriend, don't hang out with the straights. Well, back in the closet. I'm bi, actually, so. Oh my god, slay. I've always wanted a gay friend. No, I said bi. Oh, come on now. What? Mate, we all know that every bisexual guy is just a gay bloke that's afraid to say it. Yeah, you might as well just come out and say now. No, because I'm bi. I like girls. Yeah, no, sure you do, mate. Oh my god, we have to do your nails. Oh my god, can we go to a gay bar and have a little kiki? No, I'm not into that stuff. If anything, I prefer girls. Yeah, well, no girls are gonna date a boy who likes out the bum, babe. Sorry to break it to you. But I don't. I'm literally a top. I have no idea what that means. Right, see you later. I'm going back in the closet.
Either that, or they can just get called straight and get called like performative, and that they're not actually gay. And it's so weird. Why do people just love thinking that their opinion has to be correct on another person? When you don't know that person, you are not that person. You do not know their truth. You do not know what they're attracted to. You don't know what they like, dislike. You don't know what they think or believe or feel. Like, why do you think you have the right? And I'll tell you why. It's because, at least in this like specific context, they're homophobic. They're like biphobic specifically, if that makes sense. Like, they're either one, fetishizing in the context of, oh, so you're just gay then? Like, that's just like weird. Like, maybe not fetishizing, but it's like, it's weird. It's weird, 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 weird. It is so weird. Or if you just call bisexual person straight and like call them performative or just like call them straight, that's just homophobic. It's just biphobic, and it's so unbelievably weird. It is so weird that so many people just think they have the complete and utter right to just like have opinions where they don't need them, because you really don't. Did you know that being quiet is an option? How about you take that? How about you take it? Because everyone's begging you to. Like, what? Anyhow. My bad, guys. My bad. Anyhow. But, you know, just like weird. And I've had my fair share of like that happen to me. Honestly, like, I don't really care about it all that much, because I know me. I know my truth, and I know what I've been through, and I also know what I like and what I dislike, and one of the things that I happen to like is females, so, you know. But yeah, oh guys, my bad. Building. Need to make that even. Thank you. So yeah, but I've been thankful enough where I haven't been able, like, I haven't experienced that much when it comes to my bisexuality / like pansexuality. And another little thing about me is I used to, like, I say used to, but it's like, guys, don't call me woke for this. But I still like kind of am, just without the label or the want or like the need for anyone to like address it or to, I guess, like affirm it, if that makes sense. But like I like was / kind of is like gender fluid. Specifically back in the day, and this was 2020 to like, I'd say like 2022, honestly. Or no, it was late 2019. It was like early, it was like mid, it was late middle / just late like of 2019, up until like mid 2023 or 2022, and specifically it was kind of like the more like known, specifically that part times of like gender fluidity, specifically where like literally some days I would feel more masculine and some days I would feel more feminine. Hold on, guys. I didn't mean to remove you. And yeah, that was like at like some like for one full week I could identify as a female, and then like the next day, for like one day, I'm identifying as a male, or like vice versa. Yeah. 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 So yeah, and like kind of like now I don't really care as much. Like, I don't, it's not specifically like some days I feel like a male, sometimes I feel like a female. It's just simply some days I feel more masculine and sometimes I feel more feminine, and I don't really want to put a complete label on that because I don't see a need for it. I think that for me and how I feel and how I express myself, it is just, like, essentially too complex to just simply slap a label on it and be like, oh yeah, I'm gender fluid, because it's not just as simple as saying that I'm gender fluid. For me, it's not. That, and I just low-key don't really like having labels on myself. I don't know. I don't like essentially constructing myself to try and fit into a box that I don't think represents me the complete way, you know? But I'm also not going to try and find, like, personally for me, I'm not going to try and find a specific, like, gender that completely suits me, because I personally don't really get any, like, validation or, like, any different feeling of having a label. I think it's just like more like, I guess, like annoying for me to have a label on it. But you know, I don't really like care about pronouns all that much, if I'm gonna be honest. I prefer feminine, if I'm gonna be honest. I prefer feminine pronouns, just simply because, like, I am a very feminine person. I say that, and yeah, I'm a child. I'm a pretty feminine person, I would like to say. But, and that's like how I feel. Most of the time I feel more feminine. Doesn't mean it's all the time, because for me it's personally not. It just happens to be the majority of the time I do just feel more feminine. But I don't really care about pronouns all that much, if I'm gonna be honest. She, her, they, them, he, him. You know? Is it kind of ugly? Yeah. Do I care? No. But bro, what was I talking about, bro? Like I said, I hate the fact I keep on doing that, bro. Seeing if that was the right one. Anyway. So yeah, hashtag little interesting fact about me, I suppose, I guess. Anyhow, if I say anyhow, it's actually starting to annoy me, bro. Don't stop. However, anyway, but I yeah. I'm gonna cry. My bad. I think that's cute. Anyway. But yeah, so, and then there was like, I think there was like a split, like kind of like maybe 1 month period where I thought I was just like a trans man. And I experimented with it, got people to just specifically use he, him pronouns for me, and I was like, yeah, no, this is not for me. So, you know, I've had experience throughout basically essentially my whole life at the LGBTQ plus, and I've been a part of it for essentially my whole life. You know, it's not something that I need everybody to know. It's not something that I necessarily want everybody to know, and it's not because I'm ashamed or anything about it. It's just because I see it as just normal, so I don't necessarily like think about it too much. I don't talk about it all that often because it is just not that big of a deal to me. I love who I love, I am who I am, you know, and that's just pretty self-explanatory. But because of the you know, the theme, the genre of the video and what we have been speaking about, so I'd share like a little bit about it. And kind of my non-existent experiences, because I haven't really went through kind of like anything when it comes to being in the LGBTQ plus. Like, I've never really experienced homophobia or transphobia or any of it. Like, I've been so lucky that I haven't experienced it, and I have nowhere near experienced the worst that I can get. I've certainly heard super awful things, and I've had genuinely disgusting and depraved things said to me just because I am bisexual, you know? But because I am very desensitized, unfortunately, I don't really essentially like care all that much when it's said to me specifically. If it was said to someone else, oh yeah, no, I am throwing hands. But because it's just like me, and I just really am kind of, it sounds really bad, but I really am just like a kind of really uncaring person when it comes to things that could be said or done to me, if that makes sense. You know? So hashtag I let it slide. I let it slide. Anyhow, but I thankfully haven't went through really anything with it, which I'm really happy about, honestly. Yay, go me! So yeah, that's about that. We're almost finishing up the house here, so I'm trying to kind of think of a little more something to kind of like talk about. Me me mama moo, me 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 mamoo, me 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 mamoo, me 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 mamoo, me 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 mamoo. My bad, chap. Um. Mm, mm, mm. I can't think. Anyhow, yeah, so that's like my experiences. And since I'm talking about like the LGBTQ plus, let me talk about my like favorite person ever, Isaac. Isaac, you guys have not met yet, but you will be very soon. Shh, spoilers. But Isaac is my best friend in the whole world. And he's trans. And he's specifically, maybe I'll like get him down on a podcast one day and talk about it, but he specifically, he's been through like transphobia, unfortunately. And I know like it can get so like it just I have like privilege with it because not only am I white, but I'm also a female. And I'm also bisexual female. So even though hashtag the sexualization of bisexual women and lesbian women is like terrible and it does do a whole lot of harm, it can also low-key do good because instead of being seen as like disgusting, at least the men want to. Sorry guys, I do know that is all not all men, but I'm just making a joke here. Okay, I'm just making a little bit of a joke, but hashtag at least men will want to keep me around because I can give them pleasure by being a little bisexual, a little lesbian. Yeah. Hashtag jokes and laughs though, but it is kind of like true though because I don't have to nearly face like nearly as much as other people in the LGBTQ plus, literally just because first of all I'm white and second of all I'm a female and third of all I am in a minority that is very very sexualized, and obviously like essentially every minority is super sexualized, and you know like that's just simply unfortunately how it is. But I thankfully am just like kind of like thankfully not a whole lot sorry guys. What do you need to do to make a dinghy table and champion table? I forgot. I don't know why I switched into American, but I think we're gonna stay with it for the rest of the video, Loki. Loki, 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 Loki. I pray. That's why I need a one dance. See my one more time. If I go, my power's taking a hold on me. I don't know. Anyway, back to Scottish. Anyhow. Yeah, no, so I thankfully like I've not had to experience like nearly as much as I could have slash and or like would have experienced if I were like wasn't white or if I was not like a female, you know. So I'm very thankful for that, Loki. Hashtag thanks for being white, I guess, and a female. Because I really do not have to deal with I don't have to go through nearly as much as like basically any other kind of minority does. But it's not a competition on who gets the most hate crimes and everything. It's not. But I am just happy that I don't have to go through that because I'm a wuss. I'm an absolute wuss. I could never deal with it. I would cry all the time, and I'd be I'd be very sad. As with anyone really in that situation, I think actually. So you know, but Isaac has went through quite a lot and has had people say and think disgusting things about them just simply because they're trans, and has gotten one day we'll talk about it, but this disgusting chud that I absolutely hate. What? Like genuinely that flipping bird that I hate. Where did that go? Bro, do I have to like what? Why can't I put it up? What? Oh, it's about. I'm an idiot, bro. And so I have experience in like that as well. And though I haven't necessarily like completely experienced what Isaac has went through, I can understand it a whole lot. You know, I can base it off of my own experiences and yeah.
Hello guys, I did a co-cast again. It is 10:15 in the morning, Saturday, 4th of July. I'll be posting this video today. But I was just like essentially proofreading it. And I low-key realized, you know what I talk about here, I'm not too ready to share just yet. I'll maybe share it at like another time. Maybe a draw my life video. Okay. But yeah, I kind of was like, I don't really think that's too important, first of all, and second of all, just, I don't know I don't know if I'm ready for my life to be known. I don't know. Okay, sorry, I'm really tired, bro. It has been, when did I make this video? I made this video, like, recorded it on the, I think it was the 27th, so, yeah, it was the 27th, so, I've been editing for like a week. Non-stop, bro. I kid you not. It's only taken so long because I didn't have enough storage, so, yeah, anyway, hold on. Watch this.
And then we're gonna get in there, thank you. Do this, and I think it's on the I think that's right. And then we're gonna do what? Ah, I'm a chud. I think that looks right. Does that look right to you guys? Methinks. Anyhow, but ooh. Oh wait, I can make a bunny. Wait. Oh my lord.
Boo. Below I am back. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm so tired. I'm so unbelievably tired, but I have to try and do an all-nighter today, so one of the reasons being is because I need to get this posted. I need to do it. I want to do it. It's taken so long to edit because I'm literally slow. I am really, really slow, and I'm terrible at editing, as you can see, as you can tell. Also, kind of want to say, like, sorry, I wanted this. This is a weird mixture of serious and not serious, well, it being about serious topics and having serious topics, so my bad about that, but anyway.
The pink.
Back to the video.
No bunny. Oh, I could try and make like a bisexual one. Actually, hold up. I think it's like purple on the bottom. And then blue on the top. Yes. And then boom. And then boom. And then boom. And then actually I shall do Vill jag höra hello and hello. Alright, have I run out of thingies to do it on? Darn. Oh well. Anyhow. But it's glitching. Oh my. Bro. But so you know, I've had to learn to traverse all of this by myself, guys. Yeah, I don't even know, bro. I'm just yapping at this point. I'm generally just yapping. But yeah, so that's like some of my experiences. And obviously like Isaac's experience a little bit in there. Hello. So yeah, guys, I am indeed a part of the LGBTQ plus. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Oh, wait, no, because then it covers up the glass. Oh, you made me angry. You made me so mad, chud. Darn. Whatever. Anyhow. I don't want to do up here. I have no idea, actually. I think this is done perfect. And I'm getting really tired and sleepy, so I'm kind of done. Kind of done, guys. So as I was going to say earlier, this is where... Thank you. This is where all the meetings will happen for every single person in the LGBTQ plus community. This is where it all happens, guys. We have to meet up here monthly, actually. Hello? It's not working. No. Oh no. Oh no, silly. Sorry. Did that creep you guys out? Let's see if it still works. Okay, thank God. Well, now the white is really annoying me. Gosh darn, when I thought I was finally done, bro. Please let me be free, bro. This is annoying me. Please. What? Oh, I thought it was turning into dirt. It was just the sunlight. Bro, I'm so chad. Excuse me? Bruh. Thank you. Okay, boom shakalaka. Alright, okay, well, I think I'm going to edit, well, yeah, I do need to edit. I think I'm going to end the video there, because I'm kind of done. I think I'm done talking about, everything that I did. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the end of the video. We're done the little house. Very, very, very cute, I think. Very, very cute, methinks. And obviously the, we're not going to talk about that though. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed our little TED talk. I think I definitely did. Yeah. So kind of like I said earlier, don't stop loving. Don't stop being who you are. And never, ever, ever apologize for who you love. And never, ever apologize for loving yourself and fighting for yourself. And yeah. Call your mums, call your dads, call your guardians. Tell them that you love them. If you have any pets, go tell them that you love them too. Tell your friends that you love them. Maybe give them a warning that you're not going to try and off yourself just in case. And yeah, remember that you are amazing. You are worth it. You are more than enough. You are so unbelievably deserving of care and love and happiness and peace. And yeah, you are enough. You are loved. You are cared for. And I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing rest of your day. And I hope you have a good day / evening / night. I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone. Love you all. Cool cats out. #Scotland's my world. Let's fucking go.